Tim Jamal is on today. He is with the South Orange County Community College District. He is on the board. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
And always good to be here. And nice bow tie, by the way.
You like that?
Yeah.
Thank you
very
very
impressed.
Much. All right, maybe next time you
I feel
you have to step
like
up.
I've been outdone.
You serve Area 7, which is a lot of people don't realize that even though you may not serve this particular area, that you are, even though there's several board members, kind of like the county, you have districts, but you really kind of oversee a lot of other things.
Correct. We serve the entire South Orange County Community College District, which is over 900,000 residents, 26 cities, including Laguna Woods.
Yeah.
So even though we have, in order to serve on the board, you have to live in certain areas to represent that particular area, which I'm in Area 7, which is Rancho, Santa Margarita, and Mission Viejo, but everyone votes for us.
Right.
So
it's a little confusing.
It is a little confusing.
Yeah.
So we don't favor one community, or we're not supposed to favor one community over another. You just have to live in a certain area to run for that particular slot that may be open.
All right. Well, I live in Rancho, so you can favor me.
You're my area.
Yeah, you can favor me
Okay.
if you want. All right. As always, there's a lot coming up. The Emeritus Institutes, they are going to have some great guest speakers coming up.
Yeah, we have a couple of programs coming up. It doesn't actually say the date there in Clubhouse 3, but on March 7th, we have Dr. John Accomando, who's going to be speaking on a pretty interesting topic, the ancient Roman concepts of life and death, depending on sobering or enlightening, depending on how you look at it.
Yes, depending if you were a gladiator or you were one of the Senate, right?
Good point.
Which side you were on there.
Good point. And that's coming up this March 7th, so that's on Friday, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
And then March 14th next week, we have someone from UCI, Dr. Zuana, who's I would like to go to this, speaking on the fountain of youth, atypical aging versus normal aging, and I'd like to know the difference between the two.
Yeah, that sounds like
aging seems to me aging.
Yeah, exactly. That should be very, very interesting.
Well, I think it is. Yeah, I mean, and it's a concept that, you know, as I'm in my middle ages, you start thinking about more. And you know, I noticed on you before this program, you have someone doing a yoga-like practice, and
right.
And I practice yoga actually, and even though she wasn't calling it yoga, she intertwined a number of the concepts that
that's right,
in peace of mind and tranquility and breath, and supposedly it helps in the aging process. I don't know. We'll see. I've been doing it for about 3 years, and the hair keeps getting grayer. So
maybe you'll go to the seminar. Last week, did you personally go to Washington, D.C.?
I did.
Tell us about that.
So I was in Washington, D.C. last week with several of with our Vice Chancellor and other staff members to present what we're doing at the South Orange County Community College District in terms of using technology. You and I both have our iPads here today, using technology to improve student success and student completion. So there's a lot of dialogue and initiatives and even legislation in Sacramento and Washington, D.C. that's really imploring higher education to put students on a successful path.
Right.
In order to do, which seems obvious, right? But it's not always the case. And because not every student is, for example, at our community college district, some of them want to transfer, but some of them may not. They may want to get a certificate or another program. So what we're doing is we're using technology to help them through the registration process and to automatically cue them if they're not selecting the right courses.
Oh, interesting.
And so in terms of, if they've chosen an academic plan and say they want to transfer to a degree program in anthropology at a Cal State system, a Cal State school or a UC school, when they're registering for their classes, the program itself, the software will cue them and direct them if they're selecting the courses that will not be transferable.
Interesting.
So I remember back in the day when,
Sure.
well, I don't know if I attended, community college for some courses, and,
Mm-hmm.
and I, had to do some digging to make sure that course would be transferable in terms of getting
Right.
a four-year degree.
Yeah, that's a great service.
It's a fantastic service, and it's very interactive.
And
it-
I can see where, at least by region or by state or whatever it might be, that you want to have a cohesive program in there. So, maybe a student that's going to Saddleback and then for some reason goes to Orange Coast, or maybe goes upstate and goes to the where I came from, the San Mateo College District up there,
Right.
that they want to be able to get online and have something that's familiar with them.
Correct.
Because if you have to all of a sudden say, well, this district is doing something totally different, now I've got to kind of widen my
Well, that
wind
raises
my
a
way
good
through
point,
that.
because one of the things we'd like to see happen is to have this kind of system used nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that we're proud that it's at Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College,
Yeah.
but we'd like to see it transferable or interoperability with other community colleges or other institutions of higher education. And the good news is we seem to be ahead of the other higher education institutions in implementing the software. The bad news is the others are a little bit behind, and we're trying to find a way to use this as a model for other school districts to use it. Now, we can't pay for them to do it because we have to fund the activities in our community college district. So what we did in Washington, D.C. is we invited members of congressional staff, Department of Education, and other federal agencies to show them what we're doing to achieve student success. So we're proud to do that, but we would like to, obviously, maybe it's not obvious, we'd like to see from the federal government perhaps additional funding for our student success technology. Because we don't have an unlimited budgets here, and we believe it's a prudent use of tax dollars to fund activities that go towards ensuring our students are on a path to success, either academically or career-wise. So
Yeah, exactly.
we were very pleased with the attendance. You see the photo here. That's second from left is Dr. Bob Ramucci, who's really the head of this effort. He's our vice chancellor for technology at the South Orange County Community College District. Jim Gaston works with him on the far left, and then on the far right there, we had a student. In designing the system, we didn't want it to be just top-down, so we actually engaged the input of a student.
Oh, that's very good.
Who actually goes through the process of registering
Yeah.
for classes and got his input in the design process, and he participated in the presentation on Capitol Hill. So,
Very nice.
yeah, we're very mindful of the fact that some efforts, although maybe creative, they need to be done in a way so that it's student-friendly.
Yeah, exactly. That you can actually make it useful and not just so cumbersome that you can't get through it.
Correct.
One thing I'm looking at one of the notes here, and it says the U.S. has dropped from number 1 to number 12 in the world ranking for college completion. And the question that I sort of have on that, is it because students are dropping out, or is it because that there are less younger students are looking towards what we would call that institutional type job, meaning being a lawyer, being a doctor,
Right.
being that, and now they're looking at more trade type jobs.
Right.
Even if you are, wired in doing stuff at Facebook or Google, let's face it, that is technically a trade job, where quite often a couple years of, if you've got the smarts for it, you can start working. You can start working in those companies when you're 20 years old or something like that. But do you see it, which side of that, or is it a little bit of everything?
I think it's both.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that I think there are students who aren't completing college, who want to complete it and should be
Right.
completing it. You're right, that data point doesn't capture those students who have decided, because of their career plan or their academic plan, not to pursue a degree completion and something else like a certificate program
Right,
that goes
right.
into a trade. We used to call it vocational training,
Yeah.
now we call it career technical education, CTE, which is kind of a growing topic and issue at higher education. So I think you're right. I think it is a combination of both. It's not it's not a great statistic to have, and I think it goes to the fact that what we need to do is make some adjustments in what we call college completion.
Right.
So if my goal is to get a certificate degree in automotive technology, for example, to be a technician, and I was just at the Maserati dealership in Newport Beach. I wasn't buying one. It's beyond my pay grade.
Yeah.
But it was an event held there, and they have a shortage of technicians, and I got to believe the owner who said the average salary for a technician is over $60,000 a year, which doesn't seem and upwards of $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And there's a shortage of technicians. Now Saddleback College has a very good automotive technology school there where you can get a certificate in that area.
Right.
So I think it's a combination, and I think we haven't. Historically, many higher education institutions have been designed to transfer students.
Right.
That's their
Right.
goal.
Yeah.
And I think in particular, Irvine Valley College has been designed to do that. So we need to work on that data point, and we had more time, we could drill down and figure out.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting
Yeah.
to really look into. Let's look at some fun stuff. Not that going to Washington, D.C. was not fun, but some programs that are coming up, and your meaning Saddleback College and Irvine Valley put on some great programs, and here's one coming up.
We really do. Next Monday, Bruce Babad, saxophonist. I love jazz. I don't know about you or your audience, but I especially love classic jazz. So I think the upcoming program looks excellent. I wish I could attend all of them. I only get to a fraction of them because there's just too many events to take place. But that's coming up next week.
Yeah, I see this guy has quite a pedigree working with the Four Tops, Temptations, Barry Manilow, Natalie Cole, and the list just goes on and on. So this is somebody who has really
Barry
been with
Manilow
them.
brings back some memories.
Yeah, I don't know if you
He's
call him
still-
jazz, but
Yeah, no, I wouldn't call him jazz. I mean, he's kind of a ballad singer.
exactly. And you have another one coming up at also at Saddleback on March 16th, Reflections of the Ocean Classical Keyboard Series.
Yeah, I think if you want a light afternoon session, a relaxing session on a Sunday afternoon to lead you into the week, it seems to me a perfect opportunity to do that. And the prices are, as always, very reasonable. Seniors can get in for $12, and if you're a senior and a student, then you can get in for $10.
Yeah, so there you go. And it sounds like a good one. It's actually there'll be two pianos on stage, right? That's
Correct.
what it looks like. Yeah,
Correct.
It's almost like that dueling piano. Remember where they used to have that place?
They still have it in Mission Viejo
do
at
they?
Kaleidoscope, the dual piano. I forgot the name of the restaurant, escaping me, but they do have it there.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
All right,
So
IVC.
you have to go this Friday night.
I know. IVC is also putting on a program, and with Irvine High and its Wind Symphonies.
Well, what I like about this is, and I'm partial to it somewhat because my daughter is a violinist, and she plays violin at Mission Viejo High School.
Oh, really?
Yes, and so I love the fact that a lot of our colleges, and Irvine Valley College in this instance, are collaborating with our high schools.
Yeah, I think that's really good.
On music program. It is great. And in fact, so I think that's really neat, and it serves as an inspiration for students to pursue, further interest in music.
Yeah.
Whether through a degree or just lifelong appreciation of music. So we're seeing a lot more of that at, I think, community colleges, and I know Saddleback does some of it in IVC, so that's really unique.
Very good. And the last one we're going to show you, also at IVC, and they're working, or this one, they're going to be in conjunction this Friday with Aliso Niguel Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, I mean,
So this is like a community orchestra.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah.
What in fact, what a beautiful opportunity to again see our high school students from Aliso Niguel participate with the community college.
Very good.
I love symphonies. I don't know, with my daughter playing, we often go to the Pacific Symphony with her violin teacher and see the performances there. It's really quite a jewel for our county to have that center.
Yeah, I've heard that people just love it. I I've been to the Performing Arts Center, but I haven't been there yet. And
Oh, you have to go.
yeah, I know a while back they had a great program where they brought in guest orchestras and stuff, and they do great programs up there. Tim, but we're out of time. I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you again for
Anything
having
else
me.
you want to add? Or
I just think you look great.
that-
Keep it up.
Thank you. I'm still working on getting a spinning bow tie, so I have to find one. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Thank you again.
Thanks.